first up this morning, we're starting with a new book that's really caught our attention and alerted us to something we never knew about. Did you know that you can make dye from mushrooms? Julie Beeler is the author of the Mushroom Color Atlas, a guide to dyes and pigments made from fungi, and she's got an event tonight at the Elliott Bay Book Company. But first, she's here in studio. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here.
Yeah. You have such an interesting spread, but before we get to what we're actually working on today, I want you to tell me about how you got into mushrooms and learning that you could actually they could create this dye.
Yeah. Well, growing up in the mountains of the Pacific Northwest, I was always excited to see little fruiting mushrooms, even as a little kid.
Aww.
So I decided I would join my local mycological society to learn more. And I'm also a textile artist and a designer. And I thought, I want to start making my own colors. Do mushrooms make color? I did a Google search and I came across Miriam Rice's book. She kind of started this contemporary movement that I'm part of back in the 60s.
Wow. Okay, you're going to show me too. We're going to do a little art project
We
this
are.
morning that I love. So show me the process that goes into this.
Yeah, so what I've done is I've cooked up some mushrooms. These are lobster mushrooms. And for everyone out there, they're probably wondering, why is she cooking them up and turning them to paint?
That was going to be my first question. Okay.
So lobster mushrooms are great, edible mushrooms. People love eating them, but I love making color. So what I did is I cooked them up and have made this red dye bath with them.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I wanted, I could put fiber into this, like what I'm wearing or what you're wearing, anything, and dye these wonderful colors of reds and so forth.
So these are all the colors that are in your book too of what the mushroom dyes can...
Yep, here's some examples of dyeing fiber in these mushrooms, and I've got a whole array. They make every color under the rainbow.
And
it's
this
so
is the
exciting.
lobster one that we're working with today,
that
right?
is, and these are the pieces here. And what we're gonna do today is we're gonna make paint. We're gonna make watercolor paint.
Let's do it.
So I cooked these up, I steeped them kind of like a cup of tea, and here we have it. I am gonna add some alum, which is something that we use like for pickling. You can find it at the grocery store.
Easy.
And look what happens.
The coloring already.
I know, it started to change.
Yes.
So we're gonna just stir that up a little bit.
It almost looks like an ombre. Oh, now it's going orange, like citrus. We're giving all the colors. Okay.
Exactly, it's a magic trick, and it's perfect for spring. As we welcome in. And now I'm gonna add some soda ash to this.
Soda ash.
And look at what happens.
Colors changing again.
Yes.
Whoa.
So what we've done is by adding these elements, we have captured all of the little color molecules that are in there. And they've gone to like some speed dating dancing thing, something. They've all found each other. They're having a great time in this dye bath. And pretty soon, in about 10 to 20 minutes, it's going to keep bubbling.
That's what I was saying. It looks like it's like bubbling up, like science. We love it.
Yeah, little science experiment. And so basically what's going to happen is all that color is going to get heavy, drop to the bottom, and separate. And it's going to turn into this dried pigment that we can now make into any kind of paint we want.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you have some paint here, right? What's happening?
So often what happens, so I've got the paint there and I would put it in a mortar and pestle and make it all nice and smooth, and then I would ground and mold that paint. And so it's a historic way of how artists would make their own paints from natural colors. So I did that in advance, and I've got some watercolor here that we can play with.
Yes, okay, and I can tell obviously you're very artistic. What else are we seeing over here as I doodle? I'll try for
Yes, we're both gonna doodle.
We're gonna doodle.
You're braver than me. I thought I'd draw a mushroom, but I don't know that I can do it under pressure.
That would be amazing.
But what we have are some embroidery. Those are mushrooms over there. That's actually what the mushroom looks like, and they're embroidered with the threads, the colors of the mushrooms. So I have those, as well as some painting swatches and all kinds of things. So
this is so beautiful. It's working really well. I'm really impressed with the colors. And why do you think people should do this with mushrooms too? Because like you said, there might be some questions like, why?
Why? Well, to me, you're unlocking this incredible universe of color that lurk in fungi, which is something that we don't always consider.
Yeah.
Because when we think of mushrooms, first thing maybe that comes to mind is eating them. And I think that as we look at kind of the sustainable biocolors movement that's out there, where we're needing to look to natural materials, fungi's perfect to make these colors for all of us.
And so what are some of like the other mushrooms that you use? Like, is it any mushroom that, I mean, like what?
Sadly, it's not.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be amazing if it was?
It would.
Yeah. So, you know, chanterelles are not going to make a great color for us, but these lobster mushrooms do. And this is a really special mushroom.
Yeah.
I know. Can you just hold it for me?
This doesn't look like, I would not think that that was a mushroom.
It's like a piece of wood.
It does look like a piece of wood.
It's crazy. So
what is that?
So this is paint fungus. And this is something that grows in our region. And indigenous peoples along the coast of Northwest North America have used it historically for the aesthetic and symbolic body paint. It came from this mushroom. So this is really incredible. And the other thing I love about this specimen is look at, do you know what all that white?
No.
That is the mycelium. Those are the roots of the fungi.
Wow.
And then this thing that I'm holding, that's the fruit. It's the mushroom.
Do you like kind of like, are you out in nature, like walking around and just stopping all, like how long are your walks? Are you just like, ooh, look at that mushroom?
No one wants to go on a hike with me. I will be out there for hours and I will walk less than a mile because you're just walking in circles looking at everything that's down there. And it's so much fun. And I spend hours in the woods. I live in Trout Lake, Washington, at the base of Mount Adams. So I have the Gifford-Pinchot National Forest as my backyard. Yeah.
Okay, and with the book, what else can people get in there? Because when I was looking through it, all the chapters were just broken out so beautifully, the way you explained everything. So walk people through that.
Yeah, so with the book, it's organized into 3 sections. And there's a ribbon for each section. Ooh. So they're organized by the colors. So if you want to look at all the colors under the rainbow, that chapter is there for you to look at.
Look at all of those. Beautiful.
I know. And then we've got the mushrooms themselves.
Yes, section 2.
So we're looking at the mushrooms, these incredible illustrations that were made by Julie Beeler in the UK, all hand-drawn pencil.
Really beautiful.
Pencil. So then we've got the mushrooms and all the colors they make, and then finally, when we flip to the end, we've got the process. Oh. So it's kind of equal parts art book, field guide, and like color distillation workshop. So you can go through, and it's very simple and easy to do. And for all those foragers out there who are looking for mushrooms to eat or medicinal mushrooms, they can add this now to the repertoire and look for mushrooms for color.
Absolutely. I'll continue with my painting. Thank you so much for being here, Julie. We so appreciate it.
Thank you.
There's my little fish.
I know.
See, I
well
did
done. You did it. You did it.
And just a reminder, Julie is holding an author event tonight, Thursday, March 20th at 7 p.m. at the Elliott Bay Book Company on Seattle's Capitol Hill.